Okay, I'm going to make a tutorial on how I script a comic book page using the outline format in Word. My example of the generic page. Up here you have the buttons that I use to move text up and down, and then over here increase the indent, decrease the indent. Okay. There's different components here to this document. The body of the text here I have put in brackets to make it fairly narrow on the right side to allow room for a little thumbnail illustration. So you move down here, you can see how it's got, the way I do it, panel 1, panel 2. Let's zoom in real tight here and you can really see it well. There we go. Panel 2, and then these are all levels in outline format. So we have our issue 8, page 1, panel 1, the person talking or the sound effect making the sound, and the words, if it's going to be in bold I use underline, and pretty much that's it. That's all the levels that you have. And let me show you what you can do here really quick. Like, let's say we go to page 2. Okay, there's a space I put intentionally between the pages here so that I can fit this little thumbnail illustration that is a grouped document, an actual document I made where, here we go, there's kind of a generic thing I made up on a separate document. It's kind of easier if you work on a separate document, and then once you got it all set you can import it. So let me I only need 4 panels. Let me just take out all but the 4 here. Let's say the first panel is that size, and these are just little polygons that you can play with in a Word document. This whole thing here and this whole thing, that you can actually group so that it won't change, and then let's bring that to the back so that these will always hover. Oops, sorry. These will always hover up in front. If you can't see them, don't panic. You can either bring this up in front or take what here, move that to the back. And let's say I want to stretch this out, and that's panel 1. This will be panel 2. Let's say I want that halfway across. Double click it, go in and change that number to 2. Okay. And then this will be 3. On my computer, the edges don't perfectly match, but you're just writing a script, so it doesn't matter, so long as it's obvious that these are the panels. This will be 4. Okay, so each one of these is a little box that visually is nested inside of the other box. And back in the day when they had AppleWorks or ClarisWorks, if you're that old, they had a button for selecting everything, just simply the arrow key. On a Word document, I had to search around on Google and find out that there is a button you can add to your toolbar. That's this one. When you click it, your arrow can select everything. Otherwise, you got to hold down the Shift key and one by one select all the components. But let's just do that and then group it. Oh, one last thing. This is actually going to be page 1. There we go. Okay. So let's go hit that button one more time. Just to make sure. Right click. Oh. It's going off screen here so you can't see it. Let's see if I can. Group. Group. Boom. All in one thing. Let's copy it. Let's open. Trying to get up. Here we go. Okay. And I didn't save the changes I made to this document. I apologize for that. All the stuff I wrote about Lightning Man and all that. Just pretend it's still there. Okay. But there you go. And then let's see. Cool. The formatting's okay. If not, if it's moving all your text around, then you got to right-click this. And then in the layout box, it's in front of text. Let's say the default usually is in line with text. Okay. Now, see how it kind of messes around with everything? Here. Or here. You want in front of text. Okay. So that you're sure that it's not going to mess around with things. And again, the fastest way is to hold down the Option key if you want another one. You can also right-click, copy and paste. Hold it down the Option key and hitting with your mouse, you get another one. And it's going to say page 1 because it's exactly like the previous page, so you have to go in and customize it. Come on. It's not letting me. Well, anyway, if you have a problem, you can right-click and ungroup. That might be why. Oh, okay, that's why it was all grouped. Okay, 2. And then swap things out and customize it until you get. So I'll show you kind of a neat thing. Let's say I have a little better panel 3 and panel 4. Let's say I wanted panel 4 and everything in it to happen before panel 3. So what I can do is take the mouse and highlight all of that stuff, and there's a button that comes with the software, Move Text Up. You'll have to customize your button panel to have this in there. There's also like a combination of keys you can push to control this, but let me show you what happens when I say Move Text Up in outline format. See how's it going? I'm hitting it every time for every line until I get to, okay. Now you'll notice that right here, panel 3 has been renumbered to panel 3. Panel 4, all this stuff here is what was once in panel 3, but I did not change the numbering on that. The Word document did that for me. And that can be really powerful for when you're writing out a script and you are torn whether having a character enter in and say their words in the first panel or have it move down to the second, third panel. It's Really, really convenient. Also, within the panel, I can highlight a character's words and action. Let's say it doesn't matter what order these are said in, but for the sake of clarity in the illustration, it's better if I fit this character in after this character. So let's just keep it consistent with the artwork. Move that down. There we go. So Colt says his thing, and then Jackson says his thing. Again, if I go, well, no, let's change it back. Let's have Jackson say his thing before. Like that. Okay, and again, I'll do this one more time. I'll highlight everything, the characters, the actions, the words within the panel, and I'll click the Move Text Up button. And then, boom. You see now it's inside panel 3, and panel 4 is put back where it was before. Now, I'll show you the nuts and bolts to this, what goes on inside here. In bullets and numbering, in that window, okay, we have this list I made here. Outlined and numbered. Let's go maybe to an example here. And if I hit the customize button, it shows you, okay, this is like the standard format on every level of how they put it. You can go in and customize all this and write in stuff that you want. Let me show you what I did on this one. On level 1, I have issue. Not sure if you can read that. So in this case, I'm on the 8th comic book. I'm on issue 8. When you begin the whole process here, you could stay issue 1. Not that your script is going to bleed into issue 2 or not, but it's one less thing you have to write out. The next level, of course, is pages. So you get page 2. I can say I want to start at page 1. Okay. So there's a lot of things you got to tweak a little bit here, like page 1. I don't know why it would want to start at page 2, but anyway, okay. Then panel. Start at panel 1. And then the last two, I don't give them names, but the last two are really the character name or the sound effects, narration, and then the last thing is what the character says, or if the sound effect is there, what said in the sound effect. So really, I'm using just levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's 9 levels total. I don't need all of them. I just use the first 5. Let's just cancel out of here and just cancel. Engulfed. The bad guy's gas man. He's setting the city on fire because he's lighting his farts on fire. Panel 1, reaction from crowd. Character, let's just double click this and we'll say person 1. He's screaming. It's in underline. Ew! Okay. And then into panel 2. Okay. Let's say I'm in panel 2. Lightning Man is on his way. Panel 3, we'll hit the return key. Look at that. It just numbered it for me. Okay. Lightning Man is on his way. It's almost there. I already wrote that. It's almost there. Let's go panel 4. People choking to death. Okay, here's a good example. Like, let's say I go, oh, well, that's good, but I really would want that to happen before that. Okay, so I got the cursor flashing on that, and I believe all I have to do is hit this button that says move text up. Okay, so off screen, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the move the text up. See what happened there? The numbering order did not change, but now I've moved what happens in panel 3. Essentially, I moved that panel up. Okay. Let's say I want more dialogue in here. So I'll hit the return key. Now I know it says panel 3 right now, but let's hit the increased indent key. That's on Word, is this one right here. Okay. Boom. And it's blank because that level I haven't numbered. For the sake of clarity, I'll just go. Oh, can't spell, sorry. Okay. Now I'm on that level. I want the words to be the next level, so I'm going to hit that button one more time, increase the indent. Let's hit the underline key. We'll format that. Okay. There. I'm starting to create this now. Let's say I want this Lightning Man is on his way. I want that to be the first one, including the words. The first panel. So I highlight everything. Okay. And click the move up button. I got to move it up for every line, so it takes a few clicks here. There. Lightning Man is on his way. Lightning Man. Those people are in trouble. Ew, the smell. People. Reaction from crowd. People are choking to death. Two. All right, so that's okay. I need to change the indent on those. That's going to take 2 clicks. There. Now you see how that's falling into place here? Okay. And I'm kind of building a page here. Let's say literally Lightning Man is saying okay. There we go. So this is all one unbroken chain of text. And let's say 4 panels is what I need now. That's fine. That's all I want. Right here's the ending. So the next page will begin. All right. So you hit the return key. And you don't need a description for every page. Let's say I don't want to describe this page. The panels are going to do the description. So I at least hit the space bar. Okay. So there's some information there computer-wise. There's information that the computer can use. And then I'm going to change the indent. I'm going to increase the indent. There we go. And now this is nested in. You can go ahead and move that down as far as you want. It's still in the chain. It's moved down. Now let's change the indentation. There, it's in the panel level. Okay, good. And then I want to oh boy. Okay, let me zoom way in here. Sorry. Okay. So page 2, panel 1, here's what happens to the panel. Character. All this is right except they're on the wrong levels, so let's nudge this to the right here. Okay, it's on that level that's not numbered, but it's formatted in the outline where I like it in that spot there. And then on the next level down is what they say. So really we have issue, page, panel, character or sound effect, and then what the character says or what the sound effect is making. And I might zoom in here a little bit more. There we go. As you can see, I have chapter and page. Let me right click here. Oh, undo that. Okay. Bullets and numbering. There's also up in the menu, there's a way you can get at that as well. Up in the menu bar up above. Here, the highlighted one, customize, although I'm not going to customize, I'm just going in and showing you how it's put together. Okay, so here we have level 1. I named it chapter, and we'll do Roman numerals. Okay, the next level down is page. You can see how that's in gray. I customized the font color as well because I didn't want it to stick out. And let's see, 3 is bullet points, and I customized that so that the level 3 is just description of what's going on. I think what I did is with the bullets is they're supposed to be actual panels, but that's a very, very rough idea. It's not set in stone. Like in the case of these first pages, I already have them illustrated, and I was going backwards and writing this in to just give an overview of what I was doing. And then I believe the next level, there's 2 more levels that don't have any number to them, but they were important in that, like here, it's a buzzword. Like there's a very visually potent part of the story happening, violence. Okay, and I know that sounds really corny to use something like that, really dumb. As I'm looking through the pages, here's page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and sticking out of here in red letters is violence. Okay, and again, I can move this up and down, but it happens in the train crash scene here. And that way, the reason why I'm putting that in there is in the general outline, I'm looking at this going, okay, there's a piece of, for want of a better phrase, eye candy. There's something that would attract a reader's attention if they're flipping through this book really fast. How long does it take before we get to a similar kind of page? So we're going to page 17, 18, 19. Confrontation. Okay, all right. And oh well, some salty language there. Okay. And then these little objects here, I created them as a bookmark to show how far I'd gone. Let me go all the way to the top here and maybe... I don't have it up here, but it's a key. Black means inked. Red means colored. And light gray, which will be seen further down, is penciled and lettered. Okay, so I got up to this page penciled and lettered. And let me keep on going. Here we go. Okay, there's more stuff. Sex, titillation, violence, confrontation. And you see how during the page beats here, page 21, page 22 of, I believe this is chapter 2, I can see if I'm putting too much in or not enough in. Thrills and chills and spills, sex and violence, all that stuff. And then, it's kind of a spoiler, but I'm going to go all the way down here. It's not that big of a deal, but I call it the Macguffin in your story when you have important components. Here we go. I have, at the very end, drugs and money, the Macguffins here. And those are in green. They were important in the story that I keep track of what's in hole number 1, what's in hole number 2. It's easy to lose track of what you just wrote. And that way, not part of the story, but just as a note here in green, was a good little, important little tag. Like, this happens here, hole number 1 with the drugs. Then some violence, okay. Green again, hole number 2, potential money, but really, okay. And that way, like let's say I have a story with a bank robbery and 2 bags, and one bag has the money, but the other bag is somebody's laundry. Okay, and it's a comedy, it's a mix-up, and you want to make sure in your outline here you know which bag you're talking about or using in the scene. That might be a good idea to just put that out of context in a different color lettering, like green. And everything else is pretty much self-explanatory here for a lot of people, and I'll admit, there are people out there that would be just perfectly happy manually numbering panels and pages and sections of the story. But I guess the whole point of this tutorial for me is to show you how flexible computer editing software can be. Okay, here's an example. Let's say this entire page in the outline form I want to have happen before page 2. So I highlighted it all, and then I've going to hit this button, the Move Text Up button. And you see line by line, you got to do it several times until you're at the right spot. Boom. And now I've moved it all up there. So for somebody writing a script and you have a scene that cuts away from a particular scene, and then you cut back to it. Let's say you go, oh, wait a minute, I want one more page in that previous scene to happen. I don't want to sit and rewrite that whole thing exactly as it's written. I would love it if I could just highlight it and move it up. That can be done in the outline form. It can be done in the final script form. One last word about the outline here. The way I did it is I started writing out stuff that has to happen, okay? And then after the fact, I have these light gray page numbers, and I was building page and page and page, like hitting that space bar and the return key, okay? You know, loading up a couple pages here, and then using that red button with the red arrow, moving the pages down, kind of, and then this one here, move that down until it looks like I got enough material to cover a page. I hope that's helpful for people wanting to use the outline format, not only for script writing, but for creating, well, an outline, a larger story arc. Same principles apply, you know, working with levels and just customizing and getting used to the outline format in Word. Talk to you later.